Great day, great day, great day. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Natasha L. Brown, host of Lunchtime Love and moderator of Selflessly Selfish. Today we are live both in the group and on YouTube. So definitely excited. Let me get everybody up here so I can see your comments. And also, we want to make sure that you know that whatever you need as far as support is concerned, we are here for you. And not just word, but also in resources. There are so many phenomenal women in the group that if there is something that's needed, definitely all you have to do is ask. Put it in the group, or if it's something more personal, you can inbox me and let me know. But definitely don't sit and suffer in silence. With that said, definitely we want to make sure that we are living. And that's basically what this is. Our topic for today is about. And in the flyer, since more people understand the bucket list concept, and maybe we don't understand it because when I looked up the origin, people of African descent definitely should not be using that terminology or that idiom. But we do because, just like any idiom, you hear it enough, it just comes out of you. And I try not to participate in those things. But definitely a part of Selflessly Selfish is inspiring, not inspiring you to wait until something takes place, but to live today, to live now, to encourage you to do your best and be your best on purpose right now. So if I can do that for just one person, this definitely is worth it. So the topic on the flyer versus what I really wanted to say is what's on your to live bigger list. What's on your to live bigger list? Many people have the quote unquote bucket list, and let me read that. And that, when I looked up the origin of that, what amazed me is that supposedly the origin was the bucket list, the movie in 2007. And different dictionaries and websites don't have any reference until then, which is so crazy because I thought I'd heard that before then. Now it had become popular because if you look it up, everybody has a website on it. And it is amazing how many different sites are available. But when you talk about the most popular idiom is to kick the bucket. And let me see, this is from the idioms.com. The phrase first appeared in print in the Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue in 1785. So I cannot believe bucket list is something so recent, but 1785. Its origins is unclear, though there are several theories. So kick the bucket. One common theory is hanging when a person standing on a bucket with a noose over their head kicks the bucket and hence dies. This is an attempt of suicide. There is no evidence to support this claim, and it appears rather implausible. Another one, number two, more plausible theory refers to the archaic meaning of the word bucket, which used to mean beam in the 16th century England. A bucket or a beam was used to hang animals by the feet for slaughter, and they would kick it while dying. Same concept, some form of hanging something that's alive. The third one, a third theory refers to the Catholic practice of placing the holy water bucket at the feet of the person who has died so that visitors could sprinkle the holy water on the body. Now, these are just theories, and some of them are more far-fetched than others, but just the point of having the noose around the neck, that's not even a concept. Kicking the bucket is not what we want to talk about. Hanging is promoting suicide. We don't even want to use that term, so keep that in mind. But the Bucket List, the movie, if you have not seen it, it's a 2007 movie. It was really good. I did watch that. It was a comedy, which it was kind of funny, but it did relate to some things that take place in life. They began to check things off of their list because they were dying. So to have that particular list, because you want to do certain things before you die, you're focusing on the death part versus focusing on the living. So why not have a live bigger list where you want to do things bigger than what you're doing them now, or you want to do things excuse me, on purpose, and not just wait. Many people wait until they quote unquote retire from a job. You worked a job, what, 20, 25, 30 years. Then once you retire, most people, the average person, does not live more than 18 months after they retire, because the routine and all of that comes with having the job, once they stop that, and usually they don't, most people don't wean off of it. You're working the job, and then the next week you're not, the come Monday. And if you don't have purpose, then you don't have a reason to live. And I've worked with so many people that have retired, and then you speak to their spouse and they transition, which is amazing because they had plans to do certain things once they retire. But what if you could start living now? What is one thing right now that you can do over the next 30 days that you probably were planning to do later? Let me give you this. James 4:14, the Amplified Version. Yet you do not know. We don't know the least thing about what may happen in your life tomorrow. What is secure in your life? You are merely a vapor, like a puff of smoke or a wisp of steam from a cooking pot, that is visible for a little while and then vanishes into thin air. There was a church several years ago, and I still cannot find the name of the book, and it's probably something very simple, is the reason I can't find it. They went through an experiment. They went through an experiment that they basically had 30 days to live. If you had 30 days to live, what would you do? And it was a really good book. I did read it. I can't remember the name of it. The library is a beautiful place. You can go and read almost anything. So I read the book, and some of the things that people said they would do were very plain and simple. Even when I looked at the websites for the bucket list, some of those things are things you probably did last week that people have on their list that they want to do that they have not done. Simple things. Let me pull up a couple of lists. But what amazed me about that is that one person's list that they're waiting to live out is another person's every day. So you have to be mindful and think outside of the box, not just when you go to your job, but with many things. For women, since this is a women's group, the boudoir photos is a big one that many women are looking into and working towards doing. But how many of you can just, there are so many photographers right in your area that will work with you. Some of them specialize in boudoir photos. That was something that was really simple. Doing a photo shoot, with the phones now having cameras, you can almost do a photo shoot anywhere. And it amazed me, some of the things that were on there. Now, some of the bigger things, traveling around the world, those are maybe some things that maybe people had not thought about doing because it's out of reach. That may be one of those retirement type things. And just what is one thing that is on your mind to do? And I'm not even going to say a list, something that you can begin to, and they have different types of lists, for adventurers, for nature lovers, for moms. I saw one for moms, which was very interesting. Ride a horse on the beach. Somebody in the group probably has done that. Just simple things that can be done. And let me find the one for moms. But traveling is another one that there is a particular list just for travelers, which, like I said, is interesting. What is inspiring to one person is another person's everyday life. Okay, so this is one. This has 200 things on it. We're not going to go through all of this, but this one is specifically for women. And some of the things on the list were very, very interesting. Knit a scarf. How many of you knit, right? Join a book club. Very basic and simple. I'm part of a book club now. There are many book clubs that read fiction in a certain genre, and they come together just for the fellowship, right? 100% leave 100% tip for a server. Has anyone ever done that? Ride a Ferris wheel. There are many people that that's what they do. They find Ferris wheels and ride them. Swim in the ocean. Create a family tree. Make a candle. Just things that maybe you've done that you wouldn't even think that somebody has put this on a list as something that they want to do in life. So let me encourage you to live on a daily basis. Find something you can do if it's just once a week on your off day. Most people are off on the weekend. If you have a day off during the week, take that day and do something that maybe you would not ordinarily do. But don't wait until, I'm waiting until this, I'm waiting until that. And you will quickly find that that could expire. And what if there's something I was waiting on? You've had many movies where a parent was waiting to do a certain thing, they die, so the children go and do it. So live your life every day, not living it for a death, or in the church world, religious people, when I die, and I get to heaven, this, that, and the other. Heaven is here and now. Heaven is where you are and what you make it. If God is in us, what else are we neglecting within ourselves, right? And it says we are like a vapor. We don't know. We're not promised anything. So if you can do it now, do it now. If you can do it this week, do it this week. But don't wait until you retire. On your next vacation, you can do it. So some of the things that were learned from some lessons from the Bucket List movie. Again, this was a blog. I don't see the person's name, it's probably at the bottom. But these are a few things that he pointed out. And many of these are things that we've talked about. Again, things that you don't even think about you're doing on a regular basis. That's somebody else's dream. Number one, death often comes out of nowhere, and that's what James just said. We're not promised tomorrow. So if someone died today, have you lived your full purpose and potential? Very big thing. Number two, make your make your live bigger list now. And you don't even have to make a list. Add those things on your to-do list. Don't have just a special list that you're not going to do until whenever. Many people have taken, I know I worked with a young man, and he told us he went to Amsterdam over the weekend. We had a 4-day weekend. He took those 4 days, he went to Amsterdam and came back. So now, especially now, if there are no restrictions for you going to a particular country, with many of the flights being as low as they are, you can find a trip, take that trip over a few days and come back and have that checked off your to-do list, right? Your live bigger list. So make your list now, make it today, or add it to your to-do list. Like I said, some of the things, especially on that women's list, very simple things that you can incorporate now. If it's riding a horse on the beach, find beaches that have horses. You don't have to have your own. It probably is a place that's a rental. Or ride a horse. Locally, I found somewhere on a military base, they have horses, or they had horses. I haven't checked over the past year, but they had horses, and they would have children come out and ride the horses and, learn how to care for the horses. So little simple things like that. Number three, actively plan to execute whatever is on your list. We'll make a list, we'll check it twice, but then we don't do anything with it. So if you're going to make a list, that's why I say you don't even have to make the live bigger list. Put it on a to-do list. These are things that I need to do this week, right? What is it that you want to do this week or see this week? a particular museum you want to go to, a particular art exhibit, particular play that is in town. What is it that you want to do? I was giving an example last month when I presented my Selflessly Selfish journal that everybody's coming from around the world to go to the Masters in Augusta. I never had a desire to do that, but somebody gave me tickets, and it was for the weekend for a two-day pass. I believe it was 2 or 3 days. But regardless, that once I got there, I was good. I was ready to go, but the person I was with wanted to experience the full experience, so I went along. But that's not something that I had a desire to do. It was an opportunity that opened. And since many people, and it's always the people that live in the area that don't experience what the tourists may experience, right? People come from around the world to attend this particular sporting event. And then the people that live here may never go. It's so difficult to get tickets. So I said, well, definitely I need to go because I've been given the tickets. And now I can say that it's not something that I would do on a regular basis or ever again. I've had the experience, I moved on. Those are the types of things that we want to grasp for, right? Things that maybe it was an opportunity. We don't want to miss out on the opportunity. We take that opportunity. And that's how you find out what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy, what you like and what you don't like, what you want more of and what you want less of or none of. Right? Experiencing life. Number 4, see the world. And remember, I just mentioned that. So don't wait until you retire. See it in increments if you have to. How long? Plan out a trip. How long would it take you to see the world? What parts of the world are you trying to see right now? You could do that every year. If you get a 2-week vacation, every year you can do that. If you work from home, you might even be able to do it while you're working. You just have to figure out how to get that internet connection or turn your work in before you go. So we can do whatever we want to do, especially in today's time. Number 5, find the joy in your life. And ladies, as you're coming in, tell me what is on your live bigger list, or previously known as the bucket list. And I said at the beginning, and I'll say it again at the end, why we don't want to call it the bucket list. But your live bigger list, something that you've been wanting to do that you keep putting off. What's on your list? One thing, put it in the chat. Find the joy in your life. Number 5. So what is it? Like I said, you live in a particular town and there is something that people come from around the world to participate in, and you've never gone to it. Why not? Is it something just like the Masters is a difficult event to get tickets for? So if you get tickets, you definitely want to go at least once and see what it's like, right? But if it's something that you have access to on a regular basis, why haven't you done it? Number 6, bring joy to other people's lives. Bring joy to other people's lives. And that's something we can definitely do on a regular basis. You're going through a drive-through, pay for the person behind you or put something toward it. You'd be amazed. Now, this is easier to do in Chick-fil-A than other places, but you'd be amazed at how many people are excited because somebody has paid for their meal already. And many people, especially if they're in the car by themselves, they're getting something less than $10. You're going into the grocery store. You can pay it forward. And you stand in line and the person is searching for their money. I've been in situations where I've gotten things that I've had to put back. They weren't expensive, but it was over the amount of money I had to purchase those items. Pay for those items for that person, especially if you can see it's a single mother that may be struggling. She's there with her children and maybe the child wants something, but she can't afford to get it. Bring some joy. Something that simple. And what's amazing to me is the movie brought a light to things that we could be doing on a regular basis. And that was not the first movie. It's just the terminology for the title that was used that made the movie stand out. But many movies you have where people have the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They are providing things that the child would never experience because of a terminal illness. Same type of concept. Why do you have to be sick? Why do you have to be on the verge of death? Why do you have to be threatened with a limited amount of time to live to start living? When I was diagnosed with cancer, that was the threat that the doctor tried to use against me. But beknownst to her, she did not realize that using my family to say, this, that, and the other, that was pushing me forward not to get the treatments, not to do what she was suggesting, to get a second opinion, even though she was saying that I didn't need one and it wasn't going to make a difference. But yet and still, I've watched my children grow up. I even have a grandson. So you can't tell me what you can't do when you put your mind to it. If you want to live, you're going to live. If you want to live an amazing life, find out what that looks like for you. It's different for everyone. I talked before, we talk about the American dream, or people talk about the American dream. I still haven't really figured out what that is. And I asked one of my sons, I taught them that, and they looked at me really strange. And he said, no. He said, I wouldn't even know the term. I don't understand. I said, yeah, I have never understood that either. But when it's described in movies or in books, especially if it's something fictional, is, the house, the car, the family, basically the quote unquote perfect life. But everyone's perfect life looks different. Not everyone wants a family. Some people enjoy being single and they have the particular career that they can travel around the world and do what they want to do. Some people want a house full of children. Some people only want one child. Some people want many cars. Some people don't. Everybody has a different vision. So what is your vision? What does it look like for you to move forward? Number 7, what the blogger learned. And these were some good points that I got out of it too. The bucket list movie, to be adventurous. And that's the whole point that we've been talking about. Being adventurous, 6 and 7, being adventurous and bringing joy to someone else's life. Summed up right there. So many things that you may have on a particular list or that you desire to do may even affect someone else and bring them to a point. Michael Riley is the author. Bring them to a point of satisfaction. And you don't know who's watching you, that if you start living bigger, they will start living bigger. And it's not always about money. The museum locally, and a lot of museums have free days. So if it's about culture, find out where the culture is taking place. If you don't have money, find out when the culture is free. Right? I know the museum here locally, downtown, on Sundays, that's the free day. So we've taken children down, the youth ministry down on a Sunday because it was free. So you can't use the excuse because some parents may not be able to afford the ticket, but the children had a different experience. So make sure you are living now, living for joy. And just like you eat to live to live. Don't live waiting until you get to a particular point in life and then in 20 years, in 30 years. No. What is it that you can do now? What is it? And if we didn't learn anything from last year or the entire year, it should definitely be that we need not take anything for granted. If you've lost anyone, and we had, I want to say, I'm sure more than 8 members, but the first few months of the year in 2020, we had at least 8 family members transition. So definitely keep in mind, today is today. It's now. Now is what we obtain, what we can grasp, what we can actually, not even control. And I was going to say control, but not even control, because if something happens throughout the day, then what is it that's going to take place? How's your day going to shift? Make time to live. Plain and simple. Make time to live. If you have not been living to your full potential, to your full purpose, if you have not been living for you personally, Take time to live. Move forward and do what is needed in order to go where you want to go. Do what you want to do and be what you want to be. It is very simple. When we put a plan to it, if you have to get an accountability partner for the Live Bigger list to execute it and not just make the list, right? But get into your mind that you are going to move forward. You are going to do what is needed in order to live the life you desire. So as you all put in, whether in the replay or live, put in what's on your list, what is something that you desire to do, you'll be amazed. There may be somebody right here in the group that can make it happen for you. So if you don't have anything that you're looking to do, then definitely think about it and get started living. We are here every Tuesday for Lunchtime Love at noon Eastern Time, and every Sunday night for prayer and encouragement at 9 p.m. Eastern. And ladies, I am so excited to hear about those things that you're looking to do that you may have already done. Maybe you've done something. This is just March. Maybe you've done something already that you want to share with the group to encourage someone else. Maybe no, there may be someone in the group that has no idea what they want to do. And as they begin to look at the list of things that you have listed, then they'll start wanting to do it. I'm Natasha L. Brown. Remember that I love you, that self love, self compassion, and living bigger are your superpowers. Enjoy your week. Thank you.